Oh, welcome to BeoTalk number 396. How's everybody doing?
Good, I guess.
It's been a while, and
It's
then
been, yeah, it feels like it's been a while.
and
I'm
next week
actually,
I'm gone again. So
oh, are you? Yeah, I'm glad that I made it this week because if it wasn't for the Friday off, because of Canada Day, right? We had fallen on Wednesday. Yeah, we would have had to cancel this podcast because I would have still been in Toronto. I actually would have been on the way home now.
all right,
So,
all right. Well, for all the U.S. people, happy 4th of July. Uh,
happy belated one, I guess, now. But
yeah, happy Canada Day.
yeah, hope
Happy
everybody
other
has their
days.
fingers. Hope everybody's got their fingers still after the fireworks day.
Yeah, still do. So that's good. Let's do some shilling, I guess.
Let's get that out of the way first.
Uh, go over to our friends at Skinny Play. Use the link and promo code for 10% off. Get your covers for all your speakers and such. Good stuff. Buymeacoffee.com is our effectively our super chat.
Super duper chat.
Uh, we will be monitoring this as a super chat. So if you have any questions and or topics that you want and or need an answer to, feel free to use it. That doesn't exclude regular chat, but it's fine. Come join our Discord if you haven't yet already. I think pretty much most people do, but the occasional new person still shows up. So
Mm-hmm. It
and
works.
don't spam us silly links because you'll get removed like permanently.
Banhammer went hard this morning. I was looking at this. I'm like, okay, we're gonna Banhammer whatever his name was.
uh, then we have our. If you're in the market for some cables, if you're in the UK or Europe, or want to drop ship, but that's up to you. Soundsheavenly.com or .co.uk, both work. Steve, no discount code, but he's a friend, so one must. And our friends over at Tigrino Studios have revamped part of their website. I think we went over this a little bit ago. Also, promo code for 10% off, but they're working on more and more where
Mm-hmm.
you can design your A9 and or other uh, speakers and such.
Bio products.
Come on, my internet is slow for some reason. So
Finally,
you,
not me.
so like you can customize all that for an A9. They'll have this for more speakers and or covers soon. So and then you can choose what sort of cover you want and what sort of. So have a play around with that if you want to.
Waste some time and buy some B&O.
Yeah, or if you have an A9 and you're kind of sick of the standard color you have.
That works.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of colors. You can go lime green or yellow or
Milwaukee red.
yeah. Let's say we do deep mint, and then you can get some legs if you wanted to. I mean, they are basically doing what B&O should do for all their stuff and for all their custom
I
things.
agree. I 100% agree.
So have a play around with the configurated. It's kind of crazy that third parties do this quicker than the
Then
main
B&O.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's almost a shameful. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and still, if you use the promo code, you get 10% off. So that's nice. And yeah, make it yours. Good stuff. How was your 2 weeks?
Pretty busy. I would say they were pretty busy. I went to Calgary, of course, rented a car and drove to Edmonton. Fixed my mom's house because there was Lutron issues and stuff. And yeah, we got into this. Let's share the screen with the class here. Window. Let's start with this window. Share. So that'll work right there. So we came in. Basically, these are the columns that were prepared for us.
Yeah.
There is a 3/8 of an inch plate that or no, I think it was something around there. It wasn't. I think it was an 8. I don't think it was even 3/4. It was an 1/8 of an inch, like a thin metal steel plate that I ended up drilling screws into. If I can figure out where the next button is. And this is the picture of my toolbox before I flew out. I just wanted to document because you never know if they open it or not. So I wanted to make sure that if there is something of interest to them. So we came in, and this is their stock like parts department, and this is the shelving system that they have. So right now there's B&O on it. It's pretty fucking cool presentation to come in there, and the machine spits out there's more B&O on the other side there. So it's a big roller that goes around with shelves on it and parts for cars. There eventually will be. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of dividers here, so they can do a whole bunch of different, they can stack in different elevation and heights. But you basically scan your thing, and then you see this little bar runs out. That's your time for you to not touch it and whatever. So once the tray parks itself and the doors close, see, Dave tried to reach in there and it gave him a shit. So then once the doors close, then you can operate on the product or take it out. So this is the start. This is the first column. So 4 holes, and make sure everything is fucking leveled.
Can you zoom in a bit?
I can definitely zoom in a bit.
Sweet.
So
0-0, always a good.
This is that's a little. It's funny because like once you tighten this will dance a little. So then it's 0.1 off, and 0.1 off is not a lot, but for a trained eye, when you're looking at the final column product, it is noticeable by just a tiny bit, right? And there are people that have the disability that, oh, this isn't level. Fuck off. So there's that. There is the first speaker finally assembled on the column. It protrudes a little bit, but that's just what it is, because they initially in other Genesis dealerships, I guess the H columns were much thicker, and also the plates that they were drilling through were 1/2 inch. So that's a lot of glass for a metal.
So what did you use to, like, did you drill a hole, you tap it, or you use rift nuts, or? So
the electrician that was there, I've fucking all the respect, man, and I'll show you why in a bit. So he comes, and I had my metal bits and whatever. It wasn't hard to drill into it. And he comes with the Milwaukee, like, solid metal, whatever bits, and this tube of like a wax, drilling wax, apparently is what it was. So you dip your bit into that, and then you start drilling. Dude, it goes in like butter, man. There's no burning the bit. I did 20 holes for those 5 speakers in under an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
So before the guys even showed up, because they had a meeting in the morning. So I rolled in there at 7:30, because what else are you going to sit on the fucking hotel room?
Yeah.
So I rolled in there, yeah. And by 9 o'clock, 9:10, when they came in, I had the plate screwed on. So we were moving I think I was moving a little too efficiently, because they booked 4 days, and I was kind of sort of done in a day and a half. But I guess if you know what you're doing and you have the tools for it, then it's not that big of a deal. I also have found out that my everyday carry toolbox backpack weighs 29 kilos, which I don't really
Hell.
realize that it's heavy, but everybody else shits hemorrhoids when they pick it up. I'm just used to it. I just, I toss it like a bag. It's a bag,
Yeah.
And the problem with that bag is that, I bought this little bit and that little bit, and gram to gram equals a kilo, right? And then
Yeah.
it becomes heavy. But only reason why I'm mentioning it, because on the plane you're only allowed 23 kilos. So I had to seriously put my toolbox on a diet and take out whatever unnecessary stuff, which, like, how do you make a judgment call on everything you need? But it happened, and that
So-
was that.
But so how's the plate attached? Is that rib nuts or is it just bolts that you ratchet
So
on the
the-
back?
So the plate, let me just go back out. The plate attaches, you see these little hooks here?
Yeah.
The whole subwoofer just goes click and sits in. And then on the bottom here, this little plate, which I might have my level on, there's this little protrusion where also it's meant for cable management per se, but this is where the set screw actually tightens into.
Yeah,
So-
but the metal bolts, right? They're hanging on
It's
to
just
something.
the nuts and bolts.
Oh, okay.
Countersink screws basically, and the regular bolts on the back, and torqued properly.
And they have the anti-vibration ringy.
Yeah. But there's and washers, so we didn't really worry about what's it called?
It vibrates.
Any of
those,
not that, but just threading the plate and whatnot. I'm like, well, let's just put the bolts through it, tighten the shit out of it, and it'll be fine. So this is the bathroom. This is where they realized that I'm going a little too quick. So it was a 9-tile shape, and it turned out that when Dave came back from Home Depot, he had 54 wall anchors and 55 screws, because they give you an extra one in case you drop one off the ladder, as I found out. So I put 54 in there because that's what it was, and I know it's not going to vibrate, but I needed to bake a little time, so do it properly. So there is all the screws or all the patterns basically pre-drilled, and there's the shape. It's interesting because I remember on mine, for some reason, 10 years ago, I guess, or whenever this came out, when I bought it, my amplifier was not on the bottom in the design, and it has to be on the bottom tile as in a design always, or put it at the bottom because the airflow is not obstructed to cool it passively. Because
Okay.
there's more resistance if it's, let's say, where the speaker is, right? Because then it has to go through, and if you put a quadrat tile on it, you basically dressed it in a sweater.
Yeah. All right. So
that's the advice. So that's the shape that was in the bathroom. This is the rack area. Man, it's cleaner than I had ever seen in any dealership and most places that I had ever worked in. So it's all, ubiquity porn.
God, that's on point.
So, but look at the wiring, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, these guys did not spare a minute. Like, everything, conduits tied in properly. Absolutely awesome. Yes, there's still a little bit of mess and whatnot, but this is where our system part is. It's very simple. So the BeoConnect core is a streamer, essentially, right?
Yes.
And that streamer is by BLI. This is the new BLI. It is joined in with each speaker, and there's an emerge in the manager's office, A9 in the delivery dock, and I have a video of it as well. I don't know if we can put the sound up, and then there is 2 BeoSound theaters that are BeoVision theaters, that are in the mix as well. So this is the this is the rack room. This is the first BeoSound theater that we put together, and the wires are already there. You can see the cable management. I kind of strapped them in with these conduit clamps, so nothing moves. There's an ample amount of room, anyways. Oh, there's a better picture of it. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I went yesterday. We were in some sort of a pub, or I was in some sort of pub. Met some people at the bar, and when you start talking over a football game, and they keep scoring, it's very difficult. So basically, I fucking screamed all night. Anyways, this is the back of the theater. So I tie wrapped everything else and put that little sticky on. I don't believe this will hold for a long time because it's just not the best. But I also made sure that you can't see any cables. Everything is tied in properly because there's a Blue Cat 6 going through right into the theater.
Yeah, it's one of those builder grade sort of like, oh, you can see it instantly, right? But it's awful when you see it instantly.
Yeah. I don't like the new back that the LG is designing, this marble-ish look, whatever. It's very, very fingerprint friendly.
And dust gravity.
Yeah, it's not the best texture, but you know what? It's for eyes to never be looked at. So this is the theater
77
in the what is it? The customer's lounge area where you wait for your service or vehicle service. So this was it was a funky bracket. I've never seen one like that, but apparently they use it all the time. And once you install it all, it flushes exactly with the front wings. So it's like a cheat for an SMI.
Okay.
This is what the bracket looks like. See the little scissory action there?
Yeah.
That's good for more or less cable management and all that jazz, as you can see. I was able to weave the zip ties through the vent holes and, on 2 locations to properly zip the cables. Because you know what happens over time. They'll just sag down. And it looks like...
Yeah, or somebody does this and chompy chomp.
Exactly. So everything is guided properly, blah, blah, blah. This is the shape. And it took me a while. Like, I know the gaps look weird, but they are exactly spaced. It took me a little bit to fuck around with it. The black tiles really take it out. There's a bigger gap, but it's really not. But yeah, it sounds great in the bathroom. So this is the Halo doesn't end up on this table. It's going to end up at the manager's office. But we're just in the midst of programming and so on. There's the moment again. And I wonder if I got sound for that. Do we have
I
sound
don't hear
here?
anything, so it's fine.
Oh, there. Is that better?
I
there
don't
sound
hear
now?
anything, so it's no.
Let's see. If
It's
I
all
can
right.
go. Can we do that? Output? I don't know. Well, anyways, let's play it.
When you go to share screen, at the right bottom, it's also share system audio, but it might double up with voice. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, then I'll be quiet when we do that. Let's see. Share the screen. Oh yeah, system audio. Okay, good. Okay, let's try that. It doesn't let me share it. What the fuck? Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go back. All right, so the Genesis project is finally complete. Here we have beautiful gold tone BeoSound A9 in the vehicle delivery lounge. Yeah, there's still skyjacks and stuff in here, but we're good to go. Behind us, you already see the outline of a 77-inch BeoVision theater, which is in the customization booth. This is where you can pick your finishes for the cars. They didn't put the drawers in yet, but here's my beautiful cable management. Halo, everything's on BLI. Then we'll come around this corner, and the first thing you'll see is a BeoLab 28. That is a column number 5, and I'll take you through them all. There is a column number 4. I paused the music so we can show this on the podcast. See? Column number 3. And then I messed the count up. Column number 4. Should be number 2 and number 1. Isn't it sick, man? Column number 5. Or number 1. And I'll show you the customer's lounge. Here we are at the customer's lounge area. This is where people can chill out.
That is a nice dealership.
Yes.
Serviced.
There's going to be one of those faucet coffee maker machines.
Here is a gorgeous BeoSound theater mounted on the wall. I must say I am 1 millimeter off on the top from the bottom, so that's disappointing. And the last one is my pride and joy, which is the BeoSound tape. And if you look at the gaps, man, they are perfect.
So there's that nugget. Let's go back without the system audio and continue on the tour. Where were we here? I think let's start with this. We already did this one, but anyways. So let's go further. There's the video. So there's another, just a B-roll. Yeah, so this is all the columns when the speakers are playing. They all play in a wide mode, of course, right? Because they open it's just the nicest presentation.
You're just sharing the, what you call it, this folder that it's all in.
Oh, well, that's no good, isn't it? Hold on a second. That's a wrong screen. Window. This window. That's better. So yeah, all the speakers are set to wide mode, of course, right? All 5. It's also cool because they join column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in sequence. So you just see the curtain open, in sequence, and then they close the other way when the system is off.
Mm-hmm.
Very sexy. So this is just to confirm the level.
Sweet.
To make sure this was very tough to zero out, man. This was very tough to zero out because once you start turning the set screw, it starts to dance a little bit. And but yeah, nothing's impossible. Here is, I didn't take pictures of this before because it was an utter fucking disaster because the cable for the emerge was coming from the top and it was blue. Plus they had a white power cord, right, with the gold tone that comes in from the bottom. So we went out and we bought, black USB-C cable, and then I fished the cables through to the bottom and used the black patch cord and sent it down properly. So this is the manager's office.
Was the theater gold or copper?
Bronze tone.
Bronze.
Everything was bronze.
Okay.
And I find that he's going to eat a lot of Advil if those speakers outside are over, let's say 35 or 40 volume, because a lot of bass gathers in this room because it's glass. I also found it extremely depressing because everything is fucking black, dude. Black offices. Like it's really, it's a weird cozy. You know what I mean? It's a very weird vibe to it. But so, and this is another one. Okay, so we'll go.
Well, you are in Canada, which is kind of depressing as it is.
It is indeed. So, and that, let me just, stop sharing this. And there's one more that I'm going to do with system audio, which is obviously the kudos to the guys in the electrical. Where is this? Right there. Share with system audio. Okay. Let's go. Play.
Least but not last, this is the rack room. This is the entire setup with Ubiquiti. Here is our little corner with the BLI. It's a new one. I don't see much difference in interface and BeoConnect core. Then we had a little switch with the iPad that was going to be stuck here on a magnet, but they want it in the office. But look at the fucking work these guys did, man. Like, unbelievably nice. Unbelievably nice. For a dealership where people just don't care much, it's awesome. Everything's Ubiquiti here as well. Very cool.
So yeah, so that's more or less the what's it called?
The dealership adventure.
The Genesis project. That was the Genesis project.
Yeah. So
Max is an interesting question. With this being an acoustically extremely difficult room, did you have a pre and post calibration through and room comp? No, not really. We just, as we ran the speakers one by one software update, as soon as they were ready to set up, we set them up. And we didn't really have time to fuck around with what's it sound like with and without, because there was so much noise that we only had so little time in between things going crazy, that the calibration was like, oh, now fucking whoop, done. And that was that. Like, we had to really work around the HVAC, which was full tilt, and also your sky checks, beeping, and there's still things moving around. So especially when you got outside, like those scissor lifts, or not the scissor lift, those cherry pickers, whatever
Yeah.
and the diesel engine, when that rumbles, man, it's really fucking with your system. So no, I didn't really have time, but I honestly don't think that it would make much of a difference. They will need to acoustically treat the ceiling, in my opinion, at some point. They will have to. It's just too churchy, too echoey. There's just too much you're going against physics. There's fucking panes of glass from, quarter-inch off the ground to the very roof. All the way around.
Yeah, that's reflective as all hell.
And tiles, because obviously, like, you have vehicles driving on top of inside, so it's all hard surfaces, man. There's a little bit of cushy area, but even in the customer's lounge, there's really not much. Like, there is this metal mesh ceiling that they have put over top to kind of optically enclose from the service stuff that is up above in the plenum space. But it's a dealership, man. Like, you can't. It's the same thing. Like, if you build a monstrous house and you expect to have no echoes in it, well, that's just not how this physics works.
Yeah, unless your walls are made out of mattresses or something.
Yeah, or fabric padded with the quarter-inch of the foam behind it, so it doesn't impede much. So yeah, that was that. And in Toronto, I don't have many pictures of the Toronto project, because it was I thought it was the Ferrari set, but at the end of the day, it turned out to be just a regular piano black 50s with Mikey's grills. And let me just shrink this window down a bit here. So yeah, they built this countertop thing to rest the speakers onto. But if you look at this problem here.
Yeah. Oopsie.
As soon as we put the speaker on, the hairline crack started to build and travel from here, and it's gonna snap. I know for a fact it'll snap. This is a 97-inch fucking Harmony, bro. The display itself is heavier than Cardinal Sin. I don't like that he wanted to have that goofy ass router there. It totally ruins the look. And I didn't want to argue. And you know what? If that's what it is, I would have put it around the room where the mechanical stuff is, and just maybe put an extender pod somewhere to do your Wi-Fi, and just hardwire the TV and everything else.
You could even put it on the back of the TV.
But there's really nowhere to put it, but he's going to move it somewhere else, he said. So I'm like, okay, well, for now, we'll leave it where it is, and you guys can figure it out. And this is the rear. So there's obviously two lap 28s as rounds. It sounds really good, but if you look closely, it's the same. Like, they match the finish of all the granite in the house but they match the pedestal or the podium where the TV and speakers sit from the same granite that the rest of it was made. I think that this entire apartment was torn out. It's a brand new build, but as usually people do that I know, when they buy a nice place, then they rip it all out and build it themselves. Because if you have a few $1 million to buy a fucking penthouse on a 22nd floor on Front Avenue in Toronto, I don't think that another $500,000 of renos is going to bury you.
No.
And basically that's what it was. So that's the whole install. It was done in a day, of course, not too much to it.
Are those wired or wireless?
These are wireless. They have to be. There was nothing provided, which kind of sucks. But I have them running on WiSA, obviously, because it's a Harmony, so there's no DPL. I've hidden them from the app, but the only thing that I really don't like about the 28s is that they still show up in the AirPlay menu, and people can by mistake play to them. So that's the only thing that you can't disable. But carrying on, this would be let's go this way. So I visited the Toronto flagship store, I guess, or B&O store. It's very, very, very nice, I have to say. People are very fresh, as one could understand. But
Anybody ever worked with Beano before, or is it all fresh faces?
fresh tomatoes. So I like this very much. I took it more or less as an homage to Eric. We know he likes his remotes. So there's that. This is the 90s in a bronze finish. I'm not sure how I feel about these plates being white. They're not silver like mine. They're white.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't know. I didn't listen to him. I was there only for 15 minutes. Shot a little shit and went because I didn't want to pay $50 for parking. And that's the whole setup of that room.
It's a nice room.
It is beautiful, man. The store is gorgeous. I have to say, like, the guys did an absolutely fantastic job on executing it. So there's the 90s room. They have the 28s with, as you see, the Lab 8s at the rear, a 65-inch wall bracket theater. It's the new wall paneling system that they have, which essentially they only ruined 2 panels with the wall bracket. Depends on which way it swings, because you can't recover those anymore. It's a little different than the older ones that were built.
They're fabric with like a sort of woolen material behind it. You're tearing into that.
The fucking just loves to wind around your drill bits.
Yes.
Absolutely loves to wind around your drill bits. Well, we got our little Frumpy A9 over there. Somebody snagged it with their knee, I guess, or something. But this is, I guess, their Beo play wall. Very similar to what Quebecson has, but, Quebecson is different because it's a house, where this is an actual commercial space with the proper window and so on and so forth. Very nice looking store even from the outside and from the inside. You can see the 50s with the 28s at the back. So they have quite a bit of display material or quite a bit of product on display. Sorry, get my English backwards. Finally saw the Anthracite premiere.
My
Some wrong?
headphones messed up all of a sudden. I don't know if you can hear me or if
I can hear
nobody
you.
hears me at all.
Yeah, we can hear you. He's doing his thing. So anyways, I'll continue on. He can rewatch this and listen to it later.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay, good for you.
It scared me. All of a sudden, it went. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Too much Beano.
I've never had that before.
That's weird, man. Time to switch to H100s, I guess. So anyways, Anthracite premiere. It looks really good. Also with the 28s, or I mean with the 8s, sorry, that they have. Same setup as the Miami shop, right? But I do like it that they have it also on the table stand variant, so you can actually see what it would look like if you didn't commit to do it on the wall.
Did they turn any of it on for you?
No, I didn't care for it, to be honest. And it was funny because the girl had no idea who I was, and then Paul, I don't know where I remember him from, but he knows me, obviously. So hi, Paul. Yeah, I mean, you're Willie, like you're the Bang & Olufsen Willie. I'm like, yeah, it's me in flesh. So we chatted a bit, and I'm not there to listen to the 90s. I have set at home, so I don't really, other than critiquing for how they're tuned, right? So I just didn't have the time for it. And I had 6-hour drive ahead of me, so I wanted to get home, and it was not good weather. It was raining and shit at the end, so I was like, you know what? Let's just do this and go. And the old timer now, I guess, or soon to be Harmony. And this is a 65-inch panel, so it's a little petite.
Still looks good though.
Still looks good. I think they really done nice with the dark wall and a I guess smoked oak covers with the anthracite lamellae.
Yeah.
And then obviously the most understated product, the shape, is there as well. And that is basically the whole store.
How big would you say that it is? Is it bigger than Miami, or?
Oh yeah.
Is it bigger than Orlando?
On par.
Okay.
With the back, on par. Because there's a lot of rooms and stuff. I think I would say it's 2.5, maybe 2,300 square feet.
Okay.
It's sizable. It's definitely sizable.
I mean, that's good for a major city, right? Because like rent is obviously through the roof over there.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine what they're bleeding for that location a month. I couldn't even. Though it is conveniently located, like the parking is basically, I don't know, 50 meters from the shop, so it's easy to park. But obviously, if you go in there to buy the 90s, you're not fucking lugging those up on the dollies, right? Like there's a warehouse separately from the shop that they have, and that gets installed and delivered. But I think like for cash and carry stuff, like up to an A9 per se, you're good to go from the parking.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be several tens of thousands a month in rent in a place like that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Max is asking Rock for a rogue question. Do you know if there is any software theft protection on stuff in the showrooms? As far as I know, no. Even Quebec Zone, when there was no theft protection, usually what they do for theft protection, they have very, very massive or tough windows for the displays, and that's it. Most of the stuff you can't really steal. Like,
I mean,
how much time are you gonna need to take 28s off the wall per se properly? Like, yeah, if there's floor mounted, whatever, yeah, like you'll rip out the back spine cover, you break it because you're gonna, yank the power cord and run away with it if you're lucky, or cut the cables. But how much time do you theoretically have? And you would have to know what you're getting, and you'd have to visit the shop. So I think that even that, God forbid it ever happens. It hasn't happened yet. I think the only one that I've seen footage of was a store in Chicago that got broken into. This is 2011, and it was prior to that when the cameras were like, yeah, he wore a red jacket type of thing. And that was the most heartbreaking thing when I saw them trying to drag out a BeoVision 740 on the floor stand with the speaker attached to it, bro, through the fucking store. That TV was heavier than anything else, especially with the floor stand and the speaker to it.
Yeah.
They somehow got it into the SUV, but I don't think that it would look like anything that would be usable by the time they got wherever their hideout was.
There is some, if they really wanted to, right? They can stop updates and that sort of thing through serial numbers.
I think they could fuck you up through serial numbers.
Yeah.
Especially the Mozart platform. I think they can do that. But I
mean, I've spoken to dealers where like they've had these sort of dashes where like, I don't know, 8 people run in, right? And 2 people keep you occupied or literally hold you back, and 2 others like just grab a bunch of headphones and everybody runs off again. But
I think for that would be the most discreet way to protect yourself against it is just put a mag lock on the main door. So once people are in, they can't get out.
Yeah. But apparently that, I mean, it's insured, right? So, okay. But other than that, it's Bluetooth. So how are you going to stop that connection to anything?
No, you can't.
If you don't use the app, there's no way to stop any of that. I mean, you're not going to put in PIN codes on anything like portable. Like that's just not a thing.
I think PIN codes were a great idea, but it was the most major fucking pain in the ass that I had ever come across from B&O when it comes to it. Because if you happen to have a power outage at 7:30 on Friday, and it's longer than 15, 20 minutes, and then your shit turns on and you can't find your PIN code, then you're looking at the blinking standby lights till Monday morning whenever the shop opens. Or you call your dealer, depends on what relationship you are with him, to give you the PIN code. And sometimes even that comes out that, the server is not available, and oh, fuck. So you gotta wait. And I just don't think the PIN codes are necessary. And another problem with the PIN codes that in most products, from what I remember, they used to run on a separate board. Like BeoSound 1 had a separate PIN code board. I'm talking about the BeoSound 1 with the CD player and radio with the antenna come out.
The original one, yeah.
The OG BeoSound 1. And I've seen from Brad when he was telling me he actually called me. This is years ago too. He's like, call whoever has BeoSound 1 and fucking either have him bring it to the store and disable the pin codes, or if people have knowledge of how to disable the pin codes in the manual, have them disable the pin codes, because the boards are going back. And if this happens, that you have a power outage or you take it to the cottage with you and you plug it in the cottage and that board gets fucked, you will no longer be able to use that product until you service that board, which are now getting, well, now they're unavailable. So
yeah, you would have to get it from somebody else's, put it in, put that pin code in, unlock it, take the board out.
or when delete the pin code, because it needs to know that it's been deleted off that board. I don't know how BNO does it or used to do it, but
My BeoCenter 2 goes to pin code mode even after like 2 minutes of power outage.
Yes. Yeah, it's better to delete it. And quite honestly, like that's what a lot of people did. I by default, when I went to any installation that was a larger than whatever, not even larger, if there was a TV involved in it, doesn't matter which one, I would ask the client, would you like me to remove the pin code? 99.9% of the times it was yes. There was always this one Beo nerd that kept the boxes, wrappers, and the fucking instructions that, no, I don't want to delete my pin codes. That's like case of me, right?
Yeah.
But those people are very, very few and far in between.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a good idea until it isn't, kind of. Also, in most modern stuff, where would you put it in? Like,
no display.
yeah, there's no buttons, like other than my button. But are you going to make some sort of magical my button dance?
Yeah, now we're getting into a fucking Super Nintendo cheat codes.
Essentially.
Up, down, left, right, green, blue, yellow.
Yeah.
Followed by standby or some, I don't know. Like that's that's not feasible anymore. And I think also that's the reason why they had done away with the pin codes.
Probably similarly, right? Like just about everybody has cameras now. Like the amount of people with at least a Ring camera, right? Like,
dude, now I have two. You know, one looking towards the 90s constantly, and the other one looks to the entrance door constantly. And they're set on BLI. When there's a motion in the entrance, this camera turns into the hallway. So then the hallway gets basically covered from both angles. So I can see whoever's where if they turn and go into the living room. But those real-in cameras are fun because they track. So people automatically are on their edge, and they don't fuck around anymore, right? Because they think that you are watching them.
yes.
Even though it's just a camera turning and doing its job. But I do recommend doing the cameras in the house, especially like if you live in an apartment like me, where now the new era of apartments where they've gone away with the keys. You can't do shit. You have a little fob, and that's that. So anybody that has a hole in their butt that is from administration of the building can visit your apartment if you're there or not, legal or illegal. You never know. A, B, what if the shit hits the fan and you need to get, like, you need to go into the apartment without permission of someone, right? But at least then you have it documented, because my cameras are recording to see what is, once the motion's triggered. So I never really was a strong proponent of cameras, but I am now, because I can see the attitudes change in service people coming into the apartment unit.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you rent, right? Because somebody will always think it's theirs, even though you have all this legal crap that you signed, both of you. They are sort of like, nah, it's still mine at the end of the day.
So,
I mean, the amount of, especially in North America, right? The amount of stories you find where, like, oh, my landlord just came by and he brought my mail with him. It's like, what?
it seems like a good gesture, but fuck off me, man. Like, that's not cool.
Like, hey, I opened your mailbox. I just took it with. I'm just in your house now. Hello.
Everything's good. Sitting there in your pajamas or something.
You hope.
So yeah, or you get sued like the other one that passed out with the DoorDash, the dude.
Yeah.
Oh God. But anyways, so yeah, that was it was a pretty interesting week and a half. But the Genesis was definitely fun. It was a fun project, and I think the guys are talking about doing something in Toronto. So I might have to go back to Toronto to the Genesis HQ, and we'll see if we're gonna do any jobs there. And I think it's gonna be, it's like the Orlando started a huge modular screen virus for the showroom, for B&O showrooms.
Yeah.
I think that I just did patient zero for Genesis in Edmonton,
Good.
because they're gonna start spreading this out. There is no way they wouldn't, like, because they're trying to separate themselves completely from Hyundai, right?
It's
So
supposed to be better. Yeah. It's
the cars are impeccable, man. Sitting in them, whatever. We didn't have time to listen to any B&O shit because the fobs were in I don't know where and whatever. I'm not gonna can you listen to me, please? So I'll just go once the Montreal dealership wakes up and starts happening. I'll go and have a listen to what these cars sounds like. But they do have acoustic lenses in them as well, so it's it can't be bad. Can't be
I
bad.
mean, one of the nicer ways to separate yourself as a dealer, right, is just have a nice waiting room. Because
No, but that's balls to the wall, man. That's very nice.
yeah,
That whole lounge area, it's very cozy and inviting, even though it's all black and oak.
I mean, my Kia dealership has a waiting room, but the chairs are essentially like airport lounge waiting chairs, right? Like, and not like the Sky Lounge kind of thing. No, like the I'm waiting 2 hours for my next flight kind of chair, and the padding is like that.
Fucking milk crate with a pillowcase, right?
Yeah, but they're also all connected, right? So like if there's enough people, right, it's like hello, we're touching.
Yeah. Now you're becoming Canadian, elbows up.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it works, but I don't really want to spend any time there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when my parents used to have a Lexus. The Lexus dealership was very nice. Like they had like proper cappuccino, not the frothy stuff from like this tap screen nonsense, right? Like
Yeah. No, that Faucet coffee must be awesome too. Obviously, B&O has it in their. They have it in the Herning store, right? The big one that I was in years and years ago. I wonder if they still have those turning floors operating, or they just shut it down. That was a lot of money they put into that back in the day.
if you grease them every so often, there's no reason why they should stop working.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just like where you like slap it on with your hands, literally.
Yeah, but how do you grease it? You got to take some stuff off, I'm sure. Like, I don't know what the serviceability of that is, but it looked pretty headachy when I was there. That's for sure.
Yeah, maybe they have a basement that you didn't see.
Could be.
Somebody must have thought of something, right? Because there's just no way that anything like that is going to stay well forever. So
No, there's no way. But I'm glad that B&O stopped doing that flamboyant nonsense with it's just overly teched.
Well, especially since if you change the layout every 5 years and tell dealers you must change anyway, like,
Yeah,
come on. Like, I just spent like how many thousands on all this shit rotating, and now we're not doing this anymore.
yeah. I don't remember how much we paid or Quebec Stone paid at the time for the showroom, but it was a steep number. It was a steep number. Like, even that goofy Atelier cabinet was like 8,000 euros.
Yeah.
Which, like, really?
I mean, I think the last major change where everybody was mandated to go to the herringbone floor and was it the
And the panels
with the sort of brass, like, I think.
Oh yeah, they were brass frames with whatever color those panels were.
It's sort of light lilac or something like that, or a purplish.
That kind of sort of stayed because the herringbone floors are still in type of thing, but now the panels are black. They're a little different, and now they're modular, but I don't like how modular they are compared to the older panels. I guess people now that are joining the brand and are in the store and doing the displays will never know what the yesteryears brought, right? Just like on an anecdote of this, I was in a pub in Toronto, and it was Moose Knuckle or some nonsense. It was called, fucking weird. We're not going to explain what Moose Knuckle is. Just Google it, or Loose Moose, some along these lines. And they had a whole wall of dial-up telephones from like the grandma times. And this little kid was standing there, and the dad was trying to explain to him how to dial. Like, how would you dial a phone number back in the day? So it's just got a kick out of it, man. So, but anyways, back to these panels where, yeah, back in the day, we would have the panels that would screw on the frame, and then you would fit the fabric over top of it. So the nice thing was they were like MDF or some sort of bullshit wood that you could make holes in it, but if you sand them flat and then you just put the panels in and install a new product and you just put correlated new fabric cover over top of it, you're fine. Where now you have to replace the physical fucking panel because the fabric is stitched on it with that nonsense padding. It does improve the acoustics in the showroom by a long shot, but it also comes with the consequence of pain when you have to switch it and reinstall it. And I think that, I don't know if it would be cheaper to just have somebody reupholster them or not, but
I don't know. But that last major update when everybody went herringbone, I think the average per shop was like a 200 grand investment or so. Like that's serious as a dealer when like, hey, you want to keep your license? Please update your shop. It's going to cost you 200 grand.
Do I have a choice? Not really.
Well, you can stop selling our stuff, right? Like, good luck. You won't be able to order it.
That's not really a choice then. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's a punishment. Give me time, bro. I need something colder for my throat. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to be quiet for the rest of the day. That's for goddamn sure.
I'm going to try. Jose Miguel Piñaranda. I have a question. When you buy product like BeoSound Theater or BeoLab speakers, is the store required to install it, or can you charge separately for installation service? Yes and yes. Though you can often get away with doing it yourself.
If you know what you're doing. I personally don't recommend it. We've had few people that done their install. Yes, you can put it on the wall, but it won't look like I did it. That's no disrespect, but that's just where it's at. And then it depends, if you start fucking around with the puck cables and, you have your auxiliary equipment that needs to be hidden and so on and so forth. And then a lot of people don't have, not that they don't have the creativity in hiding the stuff, but they just don't know if they can because they've never done it. So I personally, I've come across very few and far in between people that did their own installation. And if it was an installation setup, it was usually a BeoSound Theater on a table stand that comes out of the box. But
I mean, as for charging extra, that is, depending on where you are, it's not uncommon. I mean, in the Netherlands, right? Like, there's so many dealers. Like, if your dealer is far, your dealer is like 10 kilometers away. Yeah.
Ooh, that's so far.
All this stuff is sold online, but through the online portal, you go through a dealer again. Like you essentially pay B&O that then outsources it to the local dealer or installer near you. But I mean, for the dealer, right? Like, do you? Is this your first purchase? Is it not? Do they really need the money? Are they so swamped? It all matters, right? And there's not really a singular answer to this.
I have not dealt with anybody that I had installed for free. They purchased the product, and installation came with it. Separate charge.
See, I'm the opposite, right? I don't think I've ever paid for installation. But
it depends, right? Because if it's a straight, like, drag and drop, it's a different story. But in North American installation understanding is fucking, you're putting this TV on a drywall, right? And what's the reinforcements, blah blah blah, this and that. It's not feasible for people to do it, and especially in Montreal, depends where you live. Because if anywhere downtown in the older buildings and you had the lattice and slats, holy fuck, man, that is so bad. That's such a bad news bear to deal with.
Yeah.
Because when you're drilling into it, it just starts crumbling. So the toggle bolts and screws, they sometimes have a hard time to catch on, and you're risking cracking the wall, and it's a shit show. I don't recommend it. It's like, would you change oil on your Ferrari?
In a pinch, but otherwise no.
Right? Yeah. So it's more or less the same analogy that people that can afford this equipment, they can usually afford an extra $2,000-$3,000 that come with the extent, whatever the extent of the installation is. And $2,000-$3,000, I'm talking, this is extreme. Like, this is few guys, 2 days, pulling cables, whatever. Like, it's a big system at that point. But normally, when we go out to do a theater with couple speakers, that can be banged out in a day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for my personal, like, I've also been with the same dealer since literally forever, right? Like, so I spent so much money there, and like, I'm not like, if the price makes sense to me and to him, then we have a deal, right? But it's not like a singular action. So I don't know how he does his back end, but I sort of go in with it like, just give me a bill for what it's going to cost, right? Like, I don't want a second bill.
Yeah, give me a total on top of the total, right?
Yeah, just give me one price. If that makes sense, then we're there. And usually that came out to something reasonable. So I don't know if he just sort of on the back end made an extra charge for service or something. I never saw a service charge.
Okay, I'll give you an example, Jose. This is Calgary last week. I have a client there that I've done a house for in, 2013, 14. So it's 12 years ago that this installation has happened. And there's a company in Calgary that took over, right? And this is professionals. They fucked up the system so bad that he essentially had to fly me out, which never happened because I flew out on the Genesis, and I just segued this into it. He still paid. He still fucking paid. Spent the whole day in there. But just, I've labeled every wire in there. Everything was labeled. And this is 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Everything had a label on it. And I go in there, and they have 3 cat cables coming from the ubiquity switch in the rack, juiced with PoE, into a Netgear switch, 3 as well on the other side. So there's 3 times. I don't even know how the fuck that worked, but no wonder you have issues. And then they had a Control 4 processor plugged into that same switch, and a Samsung frame box into that same switch, and it was just a mess, right? It used to be a BeoVision 12, and the BeoSystem 3 is still in the back. So essentially, like, all we needed to do is just get a optical to SPDIF converter, shoot that all the way, because there's a coax we've pulled, shoot that over the coax into the back of the rack, and plug it in RCA into the System 3 on AV1 port. That's it. And I took a Link-Eye that I've sent them everything, bro. 4 months ago. Sent them everything. They sent it all back. We don't need that. I'm like, well, what the fuck are we doing? He wants to use Bluetooth to stream into the BeoSound 5. I sent him the Behringer amp. I'm like, here you go. Put a Bluetooth streamer on it or something. You should be good to go. They sent everything back. They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, no shit.
So I spent, but dude, I was on the phone with the guy, and the installer couldn't believe that. Like, how the fuck do you remember where everything is on the system? Like, because I did it, bro. Like, that doesn't go away from my head. Like, and it was a juicy system, dude. Like, this guy spent a lot on the B&O, but he was the first person that I had ever installed LED lights into. Let me grab that picture here. Yeah, let's do that. He was the first guy that I've installed LEDs into the wine room, like that were tied in with Lutron and whatever. Let me just put another folder here. 1 second. Shift D. And at any rate, so it was a mess. It just nothing would work, and he had an old Masterlink gateway in there that we just decided to just delete it basically. And come on, download, you communist.
You're sharing bandwidth, man.
Sharing bandwidth, extract here. Okay, there we go. Okay, sharing is caring. Let's go share screen. Where is this screen share? Let's open this window. Boom. Share. So this is the link. I just took a picture because I knew that I cut the cables and got all fucked up. So there's that. This is, excuse the mess, but over 10 years, it stacks up. These are all the LED drivers for the entire basement.
Holy moly.
That we're still controlling and they still work. So there is from I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there's 19 drivers that power up this.
Oh.
So back in the day when, I guess he's drinking too much now because it's running low. But the way that this was designed, every line of wine bottles had its own little strip of LEDs behind it.
Good God.
So when the wine, and also on top of it, you have up to 275,000 colors you can pick from because they're RGBs. So that's the porn. That's the porn of it. So, and yeah, these were 3/4 inch acrylic shelves. I don't even know how much money he paid for those back in the day because they were not cheap. But yeah, that whole wine room is a different project altogether. So that's something that, if you invest to the point where it's not even invest, like put it this way, the guy had lived with that system for 12 years, well, 10 years without an issue till, the TV died and he got third party involved in there that has zero understanding of what P&O works like. And then they just pull a number on you like that. I also, from my mom's house, brought back my Asus NX90 laptop, which is has no battery in it anymore, but it is the last resort for BO6 remote control people. That laptop can still program those remotes without issues because it's Windows 7 and the drivers are there. So I actually fixed his remote. He was shocked. Changed the battery in the remote as well. So yeah, it was a good service call, but at the end of the day, like once we get the sound, dude, like the shit-eating grin on his face, that was worth more than any money anybody can pay when he knew that his baby's back, right? And it's a room that, like, dude, everybody chills in there, man. It's a fucking. He's a single guy, and he just lives his life very nicely. But when the shit don't work, it's no good.
I mean, even if you're so inclined that you could do all this sort of thing, right? There comes a point, or it seems there comes a point where you are of a certain income and or wealth where
it's cost inefficient.
I'll just call the guy, right? You have a guy for everything. You have a guy for your lawn. You have a guy for your pool. You have a guy for your paint. You have a guy for your electronics.
That's, what, it's funny. Like this brings me back to a conversation I had with Nicholas back in the day when we started working together in 2015. And, I was billing out people and he was just asking like it's fucked up, man, that people are willing to pay for that. Like I would just do it myself. And I said to him, like, but yeah, I understand. I'm sure the guy can do it himself, whatever. Like some of the stuff that we just came in there and, power cycle, whatever, fuck around with the 9,000. But you need to understand, he's a lawyer, a very good fucking lawyer. And he charges 750 Canadian dollars per hour.
Yeah.
We were there for 2 hours. That's 1,500 fucking bucks in a toilet versus me charging him $95 plus 75 bucks for you, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So it's 280, let's say 300 bucks with tax and tip. He's fucking 1,200 bucks ahead because he didn't have to touch it.
Yeah.
So that's the perspective that people need to understand when it comes to that service. Like, yes. And like here in Montreal, I'm looking at it like electricians charge $250 an hour. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they don't know shit, but they know very little. They know an expertise in their job, but people think that electricians can do it all, right? Like the smart home and all this and nonsense and whatever. Electricians can't do much unless you design the system for them and tell them where it all goes, because they do not want to take the responsibility for the end product not working.
I mean, I had one over, was it last year? Because I was feeling lazy for the camera installation, right? And I asked if I could do Cat 7, and he said, no, it doesn't work. It's like, what do you mean it doesn't work? Like, it doesn't work with security cameras. You need Cat 6 for that.
He doesn't even know what Cat 7 is, dumbass.
Yeah, he had some chart he looked up on Google. See? It's just like, never mind.
Okay.
So I had to do it myself in the end.
No, it's it just doesn't make sense. Excuse me. In some of these spots, some of these places, just doesn't make sense. Like there are, I would say, enthusiasts that do have, like Stig, right? He fucking dragged the harmony out of the box and slapped it on the wall with his son, type of thing. But he knew what he was doing. But there's very few and far in between people that are willing to undertake that process, let alone the fact that if you're doing a self-installation and something's fucked out of the box, it is damn near impossible for you to prove it.
Yeah.
And then you're in a pickle, Cornish.
I mean, my grandfather-in-law, he's had smartphones since they came out, essentially, but he still needs help by taking a picture and sending it over text. It's like some people are like this, right? It's I don't know. You can sort of operate it, but kind of not.
Jose has a good question. How profitable is to own a B&O store? Well, it really depends on how much talent you have in your sales department, because that really, really makes it. And I also think that it really helps to boost the profits by selling the whole home experience, where a lot of the margin profit and markup also comes from Lutron systems that tie into the Bang & Olufsen, and it's sold under the one umbrella of Bang & Olufsen integration. But when it comes to profitability, it's big ticket items, man. Like what B&O thinks that you can survive of slinging fucking Explorers and BO Graces, that's not where that money is. The money is in big ticket items, in big systems. It's people that building houses 2-3 million plus.
Yeah.
And even then, it's sometimes not enough. Like I'm a firm believer that in a modern day and age, your cost of home automation should be 10 to 15% of the entire cost of the project. That's minimum.
I mean, speaking of margins and that sort of thing, right? Like my dealer, I never really paid for install, but also because it generally was like whatever is there, it gets unplugged, the plugs are there, and you put the new stuff there, right? Like, okay. And I would help, right? Like often if it made more sense to like for him not to call somebody else, I'd say, hey, I know how to do all this shit. Like,
yeah.
I'll just help you carry it all up and we'll set it all up together and we'll have fun, because I actually like the guy, right? So that helps. But he also had like this, God, in the Netherlands, some guy with like, it was over a 10 million euro house, right? And he wanted his theater, I think it was a theater, maybe it was a harmony, on the wall, but the wall was marble. So, like, drill all, and there was nothing there, right, before. So drill all this, pull all cables through marble, right? Like, and it's this Carrera marble, whatever the hell it was. So, like, do not mess up. Like, this is going to take hours and hours. I'm sure he charged for labor because holy fuck, that's a lot of labor.
Well, and that's sometimes like I have the problem now with the place where I currently work is the lack of detail sometimes for the jobs, because the problem that they have is that they do commercial, right? That they're solely focused on commercial, but they're also now starting to get into the residential AV stuff. Then since I got hired, right, to help them with it, but then they don't really ask for my advice or opinion. We just kind of get fucking helicoptered into the Vietnam jungle, and like if you land on a punji stick first fucking footstep, that's your problem. And there's no planning, right? Like there for a house install, like let's say they're not doing B&O, but let's say you bought B&O system from me. Back in the day when I was doing this on my own as a professional partner or a CI certified installer under new terms, I would not even consider giving you an installation quote before stepping a foot in your house prior to the purchase.
Yeah, I need to know where to go. Like,
I need to know where to go, because I'm not going to go in there and the TV's going about the fireplace and you go into the house and there's a fucking quartz wall.
Yeah.
Or some shit marblage, whatever, tiles that, oh my God, and you put the freaking installation poster on and the screw holes come like this close to the edge of the tile, right? Like a lot of laughs now. It's a lot of laughs, everybody. So no, I would always I sniff around the house for everything, man. Where can we go? Hide the shit, where the cables can come through or come in, and what are we doing? Are you planning to do anything else in the future? Since we're in here, might as well pull the fucking cables, because if we're gonna crack one wall open in the room, might as well crack whatever walls, because you're gonna end up painting anyways. If we can't get away with the murder of doing it under the baseboards, right, where we pull the baseboards and you just taka everything in there. But
I mean, with anything above a fireplace, right? Is it fluted with like a metal barrel and like a faux wall, or is it literally brick all the way up, right?
Well, you're fucked with the brick. The newer fireplaces are okay because they're hollow inside. But then you have that never ending or issue, more or less, that at some point these cables are going to, because of the heat, they're going to straighten out and they're going to touch the fucking chimney flue.
Yes.
And they're going to melt. So for that, like, I usually open a big hole, right, with the service panel hatch, and you go in there and you zip tie whatever you can into the metal structure substrate of those studs and whatnot. But yeah, it's very difficult to just, how much is that? If it's a straight up like, okay, put a table stand theater on my table cabinet and just connect it to my existing TV, that is, hopefully if it's LG, then there is no issue. Maybe that's 2 hours, man. That's 2 hours with dealing from parking the car to dealing with the fucking concierge, which they're a nightmare here, to leaving, right? That's 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, so the question of what is the typical profit margin, it depends so much per dealer, because it also depends on where you are in the world, right? And what your clientele is.
It's not an easy answerable question, because you also have tiers, right? You have B1, B0, B2 dealers or whatever, and they all have different profit tier margin based on how big their shop is, based on the display requirements. Like, in order for Quebec Sonos, let's say, to become a B0 dealer, right?
Yeah.
They had to get the fucking 90s. So now you have, in retail cost, you have $250,000 sitting on the floor, right? That gets turned on once or twice a week. But it has to be there. You have to have
you get better sales margins, but not necessarily better profit, because like to have anything like real estate in like Montreal is insane, right? Like your monthly costs are insane.
Well, the only, I guess, real benefit and luck that they have, that, Richard, when he wasn't stupid, he bought the buildings, so they don't really pay rent. So that's another advantage, right? But if you're, let's say, like in Toronto, then I think they need to bring at least $250,000 a month in order to stay afloat.
Yeah, and that's to stay afloat, right?
Like, in revenue, like, I'm not talking profit, in revenue. They have to have $250,000 go out in product in order to and I'm not talking just like one set of 50s or 90s. Like you need to have multiple products with a good margin on them in order to sustain your fucking, I don't know, maybe 30,000 a month rent, plus the employee cost, plus the warehouse storage cost, and you have all the products staged for installations. Maybe you have a monkey in the warehouse that you gotta pay.
Yeah.
So it starts to become really, really thin, and especially with the new these tariffs and shit that comes on. It's not fun, man. And I think that the least fun is the lease of the building.
I mean, I know of a dealer in the UK, right, who goes by discounting everything and just goes by volume as much as he can.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's some service, but it's relatively little, and I don't think they're making all that much. I don't fully know what the structure is, but like if you want it cheap, go there. But it's sort of like anything beyond, if it breaks, you're a little bit on your own, kind of.
Yeah. Jose, thank you for the coffee. Much appreciated. Very much appreciated. But yeah, I also think that if the leadership in Quebec-Son wasn't stuck on, I gotta be careful with my words, wasn't stuck on disliking me per se for where I'm from and so on, and I'm better than anybody else combined in there.
That's a French thing. It's the same in France and Belgium.
And they would have been ahead a lot more than they are now, because I don't know. I carry myself differently with the pride that I do and work that I do, and you can see it not just on the pictures, but I live and breathe the brand, and there's very few and far in between installers that I've come across that really believe in their product the way I do, even when it doesn't fucking work and you look like a clown in the house. But you know what? There's always a pair of shock pedals in my toolbox that I have that I can bring that shit back to life.
I mean, you've spoken about your colleagues' shenanigans sometimes at customers' homes.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I'm not going to dig up dead horses, but like, come on.
It's kind of funny, but it's tragic, bro. It's tragic. So yeah,
it's not very high net worth individual behavior, to put it that way.
No. You don't go into someone's house and just log off first thing you do. But that's a story for another day.
I bet you a lot of stores are also taking sort of unique approaches to making money, right? Where like, yes, you can work here, your base pay is absolutely nothing, and you live off commission completely.
Yeah, but you also can do it like let's say Bob, right? He owns a B&O store, but he also has a company that basically floats the B&O shop, which is B Digitals, and they do everything and anything on that side of the thing, and then he brings people in from that side sometimes to a B&O solution because it just makes more sense than anything else that he has in his other company's portfolio to offer. But even our B&O store in Calgary, when he was around, there was two companies. It was Bang & Olufsen Stephen Avenue, and it was Elegant Entertainment, which was above it, and that's the place where we would do the Crestrons, the Lutrons, the Megatrons, and Positrons, and all the other Trons that would either tie in with B&O or it was a completely separate system that people, I don't care for B&O, I want all this shit. So that's, again, that was it was a two-faced horse that pulled the cart in that region. I don't think that Vancouver store is the same. I think that they're just doing it solely from there, and so is the Toronto, because it's the same owners. But yeah, it's not that it's tough, but like if you compare, let's say, like I'm gonna compare from what I know and what I have a tangible reference from, right? Karim and Julien in Quebec-Son shop. Karim pulls, I would say, 95% of the weight for Bang & Olufsen. and Julien pulls 100% of the weight for Lutron and shades and home integration and Savant systems and all that. So both of them combined together, right? Like if there's a B&O sale that Julien has, Kareem tends to help him with it and whatever, and vice versa. If they have a Lutron system, then Kareem sells his B&O and Julien does the not the programming. The programming is done by the installers, but it's still hand in hand mixed match systems or pure B&O or pure whatever else have you, or people just do Lutron. But I've never seen anybody that just does Lutron home automation and they don't put anything smart in the house with it.
No.
Like, so it's, and then Quebec Song is slowly becoming that one-stop shop because they can do it all, right? With the limit of
with Kareem and the other guy, right? Like, I think their skill set really is that even though the market is all sorts of fucked up nowadays for a lot of people, right, there is still money. There's still money, but they know how to find it.
They know how to find it, and I've never met a more skilled salesman than Kareem. He can sell fucking melted water to Eskimos for ice, and they would buy double in price. I swear to God, man. I swear to Christ on the cross, man. Like this guy, I've seen it. I've seen it happen. Lady came with a dead ass BO4. I still have it here because they took it home because I'll never forget it. Had a broken PPOS button. Had an Avant 55. They didn't change batteries that day. They left with the fucking 55-inch theater. Deer in the headlights. How did that happen? No, it's a great system. That's it.
I mean, there's always money, right? Even the 08 crash and every crash before that. There's always people with money.
There's always people with money.
You just need to find them. But that's, I think, is the hardest part for most dealers.
Yes.
I mean, how do they make money in Switzerland? It's probably because that store knows how to find like a handful of these people that just don't care, right? Like where it's sort of like, and they're silent generally about it, right? You have I don't know, 10, 15 silent customers that you never assume anything about, but they're sitting on piles of it and it's just a hobby.
Yeah. I decided to buy a house in whatever. What do you think we should put in there? I've had people like that.
Yeah.
And then you start with fucking, like back in the day, it was, oh, no, we always 4103, bro, for sure. It's going to go great in here. So how much is that? It's 150 grand. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's do something smaller.
But, I mean, I've heard of people that, like in the Netherlands, right? They went to a Dutch dealer. It's like, yeah, my house is kind of full, but I bought a vacation home in Italy. Could you come to Italy and like install a bunch of things? Like, what do you want? Oh, an 85-inch Avant. Okay.
Jesus. That sucks.
Like, I have to bill you, obviously, for the flight and the hours and that. Yeah, that's fine.
I don't care. I've been flown out. I've been driven out to places. Doesn't matter. I drove out to places to switch batteries. I told that story a number of times on Christmas Day. $1,000.
Yeah, but as long as every dealer has like, I don't know, 5 to 15 of these customers, right? You'll generally survive, if not thrive. And then,
quite honestly, like as a CI or a professional partner back in the days, I was comfortably surviving off of 3 projects. 2 projects were perfect. 3 were starting to get a little busy. Because I have an architectural background, so to me, I'm unable to help myself to ignore the job site till it's time to go and install shit. So I'll use an example, which is let's call him Mike Gardner's house. He no longer owns it; he sold it. But that was the house that we did, and I showed up when the cribbing was being taken off, and they were just putting the studs up to start the framing. And I showed up on the job site and looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, you're an AV guy. I'm like, yeah, I am an AV guy, but I need to know where and what and how, because soon enough, we're going to have to pull cables into the basement, and we just need to find the pathways so I don't get fucked by the HVAC guys or electrician or Mr. Security guys going to steal my holes. So I was there once a week, every Wednesday when the meeting was there. Sometimes I would skip because I was too busy, or, there was irrelevant activity going within what I would be concerned on the job site. But I would have 2 jobs that I would be peddling between, and then the rest of it is the gravy, the service calls, the little this and that. But those 2 jobs, when I was doing them in 2015-16 before my accident, they took up all the time. They took up absolutely all the time. And people are used to being built just like, I build just like they have an architectural fee. I have my design fee as well. And, this is the site visits. You come, we put it in the contract. I'll be there when it needs to be there. And that's it. And there was fucking 0 surprises.
Yeah.
When we finished the installation. Even, it was funny at the time, I have a feeling, I was telling Nick, I'm like, listen, man, let's buy these fucking waterproof tarps that don't color anything. So we got something, not just the installation blankets. And lo and behold, as soon as we showed up with all the B&O to install it in the living room, was an Avant 55 with a couple speakers, 18s and whatnot in a moment. The furniture guys came in and the carpet guys came in. So they put the carpet down and and the designer like, oh my God, like, can you guys, like, don't worry about it. So we spread out stuff. Like we were ready for it. And that level of professionalism, dude, it goes so far, not just in the client's eyes, but in the people that you work with, because they're going to go, okay, these guys are no fucking clowns, man. I want them on my next job, because the way that this was delivered, I have never seen delivered like that.
Yeah.
In such professional way. So that's the presentation with installation is also very important. And how you're dressed as well, because if you come in there with the fucking blue jeans on the white walls and try to shimmy yourself behind a wall bracket, and then you leave blue marks on the wall, and oh man, seen it all, done some of it, but I have seen it all.
If you have 3 stores in Zurich, just go to all 3 and see which of. There's 2 that will probably stand out, that are like noticeably better, because probably or there's so much money that you can support all 3. But I bet you one is surviving of an older clientele base, and maybe not doing so well.
You never know.
Oh yeah, one of them.
One of them is shit. Right.
Yeah, thought so. That's generally how it goes.
Not everybody can be good.
Well, not everybody needs to be good, right? Because, I mean, a lot of where the profit margin dies is just whoever owns the store makes stupid decisions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some people
most likely it's the captain that would always sink the ship, right?
Yeah. I mean, some people, it's really how do I maximize pulling money out of this, right? At any cost. Like if I can fuck over my employees, no bonuses, that sort of thing, okay. I mean, that works for maybe 5 years, but for some people, it's like, I love this thing. This is a long-term plan.
Married to it.
If the store can thrive and I take a little less, that's probably better in the long term.
But greed is a son of a bitch, man. It's a bad witch. And people try to skim off more off the top than it needs to be. And yeah, it's just what it is. But yeah, you're right, because usually it's the owners that take all the money and show up in new cars and whatever, and you're driving a rust bucket and same wage and no overtime and this and that. It doesn't work for a long time.
Or like shit base pay, and you live off commission, right? But then you're kind of dependent on your commission with the install staff and whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I do get it from an owner standpoint, right? The amount of cost, if you've only ever worked for other people, right, you do not necessarily understand the cost you take on when you hire somebody. It's not just their hourly wage. It's like the whole pension stuff. It's sickness, right? It's maternity or paternity leave, that sort of thing. Like for me to pay you $50 an hour pre-tax, like I have to probably charge somewhere between 75 and 125, depending on where you live, right? Just in fees and government and taxes and other shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the problem with some people. They just don't see the value in. Well, it's like the same like with the Toronto deal. Like, there was a lot of back and forth because I had my certain price. I'm like, dude, I'm not coming out here for a pat on the shoulder and a cookie and a glass of milk. Fuck off. That's not happening. And if I'm coming down there, I'm staying within fucking 10 minutes at the most of a drive distance to your place. Because it's Toronto, dude, right? Like, what am I gonna stay in Oshawa or fucking somewhere? And then it's like 2 hours to get to where he is. No, no. We're not doing that. So I have to say, I stayed at Fairmont Hotel, Royal York Fairmont on Front Street. Beautiful hotel. Fucking no bourbon, Coddies. No
It's
bourbon
so
of any
bad.
kind. It's so fucking just losers, man. But I found me a stomachable whiskey, so I had a few, and then I met the guy at the bar. He was an off-leash night. His wife and kids were in the hotel room, so I was like, fuck it, let's go somewhere, let's do something. So we had a few, and then we went to the bar where the game was, and it was just so loud, man. But he was a very interesting individual. He does... he's in the medical field of designing organ transport devices, or like for organs, donation for organs, like the transport boxes and devices for them. They're fucking pretty cool. I'm sure he gets a greasy paycheck for that.
I mean, some people make money in really, really bloody weird things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was a kid, one of the first guys, and it was very new money, right? And that's partially why. One of the first guys in the village to drive around in a brand new Phantom, Rolls-Royce Phantom. He made a shit ton of money, and nobody cared, right? But what he made his money in was these enormous metal plates that are like 3 meters wide by like 10 meters long. And you put them down for construction areas so all the heavy equipment can drive over.
No shit.
That's what he rented out, like road construction, building construction. And he had several thousand of these plates. And apparently that's Rolls-Royce Phantom money.
That's insane. But you know what? I can see where that is, because I had done a job here in Montreal for a gentleman that owns a construction cone company.
Yeah.
Fucking filthy rich, man. But given how many cones there is, and he gets a percentage of certain cones that are here, man, it's yeah. People make money in the most different, most peculiar ways sometimes.
Apparently in Illinois, right, the traffic cone goes like the city pays $5 rent a week per cone.
Yeah, it's $7 a day here.
Yeah,
a day.
But, yeah, it's crazy. Like the real problem is getting that contract.
Oh yeah, but once you lock your mouth on the teat, you can suck that cow dry for a long time. But that's
But yeah, that guy, like, I don't know, you need a crane on the other side of your house, right? And you don't want to destroy all your grass. You need all these plates to lay down, because like that heavy fucker is just going to sink through the fucking soil.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So like, I mean, anything like that, right? Like, ooh, money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I heard somewhere the other day apparently this, I don't, was it local or was it Wisconsin? I don't remember. But this guy made a shit ton of money every year, and nothing fancy, right? What they did is make caster wheels.
Shit.
Everything needs caster wheels, right? Like, and it's not something you innovate on. Like it needs to have a bearing and a wheel that goes spinny that you can attach to something, right? That's all it needs to be. And I've been doing that for like 20 plus years.
So, Jose, if you want to listen to the 90s, I would recommend listening to them on the Theater versus Harmony. They do sound a bit different. They do sound a bit different on a Theater. They're a little bit more bassy. don't get me wrong, they'll still get right the fuck in your head. It doesn't matter. But I find that the theater, after the tuning is deleted, does a better job. I think it's more or less because the computation for that dynamic range has been corrected or improved, rather, right? With all the speaker tunings that they have versus what they've had in Harmony and Avant in the yesteryears of time. But yeah, I would, or even a BeoSound Core is a good candidate to listen to it. But one thing I'll tell you, but a lot of people, a lot of dealers, you know, they go for the fucking wow factor and they juice the shit out of the speakers. And if you have it super loud, they'll just blow your hearing off, and then you can't really hear the fine nuances and details. So it's better to listen to it with, you know, put it on the moderate volume and then increase it yourself.
Somebody in the wanted section on the Discord, I feel bad for you because I don't know what happened, but oof.
Oh, fuck. And you can't order them anymore. They're done. Oh,
Oof.
that's a feels bad. Dude, that must have been heavy as fuck because these are solid.
Yeah.
These are solid platters, I guess. Oh,
Well,
that's what feels bad.
If you have one left over, contact it. It's in the wanted section on the Discord.
Oh, fuck. It's on the bottom one, too. Scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He caught both. Shiitake mushrooms.
Like you can see, it's.
Oh, my God. Okay, no, that's fucked. What did he drop on that? Call this, man.
It's almost like, what did the speaker drop onto? The other way around.
No, I don't think so. I think it's something fucking took it from the top because it broke off.
Yeah.
If it fell down this way. No, but if it fell down on its side where this is, there would have been a flat ass part of the aluminium, right? Fudge. Oh, that's a feels bad, bro. No, I can't sleep for the rest of the week.
I was more thinking like maybe it was WWE with fives, right? Like you grab the five and you go
fucking pile driver that like the Rock would. No, that sucks, bro. Safine. Ooh. Okay, that's too much gore. Turn it off because we're gonna get banned. That's too much Beo gore. Shit. Yeah, that's that. The laughter dies right after that. I tell you what.
Yeah.
But okay, Jose, I'm not trying to scare you off. I'm not saying that they're gonna sound like shit with the harmony, but I've lived with the 90s. Yeah, they sound different. I've lived with the 90s now for a decade. 2 years we were separated. Okay, so we don't count that. It's not like we broke up, but I've always loved them. They just had to be in the box for a while. But anyways, I remember the sound of them being a little bit harsher through the Avant and then also the harmony than through the theater. But the detriment of the theater, that the theater just loves to put the bass in it hard, like real hard. So I find that like I have to piss about with my parametric filters to correct it so I can alleviate banging at the wall of my kitchen because my neighbors have a fucking bedroom next door to it.
Yeah, that's always rough.
It's been July 1st now and past, and I've seen that the balcony stuff is cleaned out. So I might have a month of buffer that nobody lives beside me.
Maybe go knock on their door, see if they open.
I don't think I need to even do that. I'll just turn on the speakers and see if they knock on mine. Why would I have to make the effort to go outside? I'll make them. But yeah, the 90s they're fantastic speakers, man. Even after the 10 years, like there is nothing better than them. And you know, other than they sprinkle some new more glitter on them to make them shiny and more wood to make them woody, they still sound the same as mine from 10 years ago. And they're just the best speaker. Like honestly, it's and if you go somewhere to listen to the 90s, I would suggest, you know, it may almost feel fucking weird, but you need to be there for at least a half an hour, man. Like you need to put some tracks through those speakers. You can't just like skip through and listen this and that and this and that, or have the dealer drive it for you. If you're interested in buying them or even going to the 50s, you need to spend a little bit of time with it. It's just what it is. I'm honestly, I've sobered up from the times where 65 was a new 40, right? Because they fucking loud. But I have two answers to this question, because it's a different sound volume that is from the BeoSound 9000 over the SPDIF going internally into the 90s versus going with the theater directly into the 90s. So the theater is much louder than the SPDIF input on the 90s. So let's say I turn on the CD, I normally go to about 70-75% volume on the speakers. On like the Pink Floyds and Dark Side of the Moon and something that is not like new Marilyn Manson or Skrillex album where they're 12 dBs boost on the disc and it's completely different sound. But if you listen to like, classic rock music per se, or anything that is done on CD, I tend to venture up to 70% volume with the Halo on the 90s. If it's through the theater and Tidal, and I consume Tidal off the app because there's the music videos and Dolby Atmos is enabled and so on and so forth, it's just spectacular, then I go to about 55, at the most 60. And that's about, but then again, I'm a strong believer that for every glass of bourbon, you lose 5 decibels of hearing. And at the end of the night, I've caught myself a few times over 85 on the 90s for a little bit. But then again, it's listening to 90s at the full volume I would equate that to like driving a Veyron at its top speed. You can do it, but not for long.
No.
And it's not just that it's so fucking loud. It's so loud that it's not even fatiguing, but it's just too much, man. It's too clear, and you don't realize how loud it is till you turn it off and you just have like you literally had a flashbang go off in front of you.
Yeah, it doesn't distort or anything, so you're not listening to any of that, but it's a weird sensation, right? Because most things, when they go loud, you hear it go shitty, and that's kind of not what's happening. It stays the same, just a lot louder. But
same with 50s.
Yeah, it's to the point where it's just hearing damage.
It's fucking loud, man. Yeah. Like I remember on the New Year's, me and Nathan and his wife, they came over for the New Year's when I first moved into the apartment. And the moment worked with the mood wheel and such, right? So we spent the entire New Year's night drinking around the 90s with the moment, and everybody, we would pass the cutting board around and everybody would pick their song and wait politely till their song is over so they do theirs. And Shannon tried to fucking blow the 90s with some weird, obscure. I'll have to ask Nathan what the fuck the music was. It was some classical, but then the drums and horns and shit came in, and Devil started fucking spinning around, man. It was insanely loud, but they didn't even break sweat. I'll never forget her face because she fucking dropped the jaw, almost dented my floor, man. It was so funny. But yeah, that was a few nights, but like it was so loud that we were into one another, and I just saw his mouth move and my mouth move, but there was no words being heard because the 90s were playing.
I mean, in my living room, like even in my kitchen, even though the speakers are in the living room at 65, right? Like you can barely talk to each other in the kitchen. Like you're shouting.
Oh yeah. You're having an argument without having an argument.
Yeah. It's really like, do you like something to drink?
And then there's an awkward pause in the music and you're just full throat screaming. I've been there too.
That always happens.
Oh yeah. So yeah, don't do that to yourselves, crowd. Don't do that. But yeah, 90s, you need to spend some time with them. I don't think, like, if you're on the fence and verge of buying them, I can say I can't say enough praises about these speakers because they're just fantastic. So are the 50s, but it's a different animal. With 50s, I would never consider selling these every time I move, bro. Every time I move, because it's a fucking process, man. Like, to put these up into the boxes, 2 guys, 4 hours.
I mean, you could potentially wrap 50s in non-standard boxes with like just a shit ton of bubble wrap, right?
Not
Like,
these.
no, it's just like, because something's going to break. Like the
Mhm.
top half is going to come off, or like even if you take all the crowns and sails off and stuff, like you just
But it's so much more room that you need now. Shit, man.
But even so, right? Like the 50s, because it's one solid chassis, right? Like you can just like do one of those airport styrofoam or what is it? Those plastic
Yeah,
wrappers.
yeah.
With
The bubble wrap.
Like where, like, yes, it's this big, but okay, you can drop it and it'll be fine.
Yeah, with
But,
90s,
like,
it's no
Yeah, I mean,
no bueno.
it's just too heavy. You need to like have them upright at all times, and that's why you need the pallet. And I mean, I guess if you have the pallet, you can sort of make it work, but I wouldn't advise it.
No, like I'm not a box tosser, so I keep all my B&O boxes that I have of all my current products, because if I do move, which is not uncommon in my life, I have everything boxed up properly, so I know there's no damage unless something fucking really tragic and happens and it drops on something or whatever. The worst nightmares of the yesteryears were the stiletto tips coming out of the fucking boxes of the 8000s, right? They just push through.
Yes.
18s have that same suffer issue, but
They have just
that
a plank of wood in there, don't
yeah,
they?
but that doesn't fucking, like, it helps, but if you have that box, that, you know, the traveler box, the mover box, that's there's so much loose where that slat goes in that it doesn't even matter, and the speakers just shoot right through it. But yeah, again, that's an understanding of how to carry stuff and so on and so forth. That's why I don't believe in movers per se, because they just don't have an understanding. Do you use volume gain on the BeoSound Theater? I had to enable it because I felt the sound from the soundbar was too quiet when watching TV. It is very much source dependent opinion. I do agree that the cable boxes do come in much lower dB output level versus what the internal sources in the theater are, or in the LG panel per se, and also within the theater, because I find that sometimes B&O radio versus Tidal is louder on the Tidal side than the B&O side, and vice versa. Depends on what radio station you're listening to or what track you start listening to, because if you start with the Dolby Atmos remaster Dark Side of the Moon on Tidal, you're going to listen to it at fucking full volume, and it's going to sound like it's at 55. I do not understand why that album is recorded so poorly. I mean, in loudness, quality is great, but God forbid that, you know, when you switch a track and it's something of modern time, then yeah, man, the cones are going to touch your face. It's going to be loud.
I mean, the volume gain is one of these settings where it kind of doesn't do anything, right? You more use it as a leveler between all sources, so that if you, I don't know, switch from TV to Netflix to YouTube, that you're not going to have to, like, okay, I'm going to YouTube now, I have to crank it up, or I'm going to Netflix, I have to crank it down.
Mhm.
Like that you can sort of just go from source to source to source without like having to think like, okay, this is going to be loud. Where was I on my TV setting?
And that's, you know, you can adjust it in source, I guess it is in sound or sources and connected devices, and then you can adjust the dBs levels individually per source. I tend to do that as well, especially with you know, third-party boxes versus whatever else there is. But yeah, I do agree. We should talk about Dolby Atmos music in near future, because we haven't really touched on that subject. But it's really, I don't think there's really that much to talk about, because Dolby Atmos music is great. It you know, it's basically your music reinvented new in surround per se. not everything is like, all over the place with all the speakers when you listen to the Dolby Atmos. Some of it just has more, I guess, perceivable depth into music this
Yeah,
way.
it comes down to the mastering because it isn't recorded. They're re-recordings essentially, right? Like,
Mhm.
and you can put individual instruments and
The
tracks
channels and yeah.
all over the place. So, look, as a basic container, there's lots of what you can do, but then it comes down to the sort of how wild do you want to go as the masterer, right? The people that put it in places.
Yes.
I have nothing against it. I'm also not necessarily super for it because, I mean, compared to FLAC in terms of like pure audio, there's not really any benefit. They're both lossless. It's just there's spatial information with Atmos.
Mhm.
I mean, at a minimum, right? It's a way to sell the same album again. Like if you wanted to be really lazy, you just put it in a Dolby Atmos container and sell it again and do nothing to it.
Mhm. Or tweak a little bit on the stereo side or something.
Yeah.
Do you think Bang & Olufsen needs speakers with up-firing drive or something like BeoLab 38 that with that technology? I love that you already assumed the name of it, but
No.
I don't think so. I think that they rely a lot on their beamforming technology that was developed with the 90s, 15 years ago now, because they've been dabbling with 90s. Obviously, they didn't just start working on them 2 weeks before they came out. I think it was the longest speaker in its acoustical design that's ever been produced in Bang & Olufsen history so far. So I've watched movies on my Avant with Avant center channel turned off because it just brought the whole system down quite a bit, with 18s in the back and 17s as surrounds. Sorry, 18s as surrounds and 17s as back. So a 6.0 surround system that I've had. And I had watched some movies that were with Dolby Atmos, even though the coding or encoding wasn't even recognized on that TV per se. The way that the 90s sound, it's fucking insane, man, because they bring everything and anything to life from the speaker all the way to your ear level, maybe about 20 centimeters behind you as far as the effect is concerned and what the beam forming does. And then you have the 17s or 18s. Now I just have 18s to do that little bit to fill in, to pull that effect all the way across or all the way around your head. But with the Dolby Atmos content, really, I don't consume much of it to be to have a really formalized opinion. But I think Mikey could attest to it more because he's more equipped for the Dolby Atmos scenario, where I'm not. I have a 5.0 system essentially with 2 up-firing speakers that are in the theater, and that's it. So I can't really attest to it in a way that, definitely, we need height speakers. But you do need height speakers. You do need height speakers more at the back than you ever need at the front with the theater. That I will tell you right away.
I mean, up-firing speakers, right? Like a lot of companies try to do the reflecting thing. But it's like if you use that reflecting technology, you get such mixed results from house to house because, like, what is your ceiling, right? Is it solid or is it not? Like, this is drywall with some insulation. Like, that is not really all that reflective.
But do you have an 8-foot or a 20-foot ceiling, right? Because I've had houses where there's these, in the big homes, the living room is that massive ass fucking open space, all the way to the second floor's roof. And it's just like, wow, shit, like you ain't bouncing motherfucker off that, man. It's too far.
I mean, also, if you have a roof structure like this, right, you're reflecting weirdly. So, like,
it's going in a 90-degree into the, it's.
If you want like proper sound from above, there is nothing that beats a speaker being above you. It's
100%.
not even close. Also, where the way that you tend to have to put it on anything to push upright, like you end up with something small. Like you end up with like a mid-range and a tweeter, maybe. Sometimes it's only a sort of full range that is, I don't know, like this size.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it does something, but it doesn't compete with anything above you.
No.
It's I like Atmos. Don't get me wrong. I think it's better suited, quite honestly, for films and like that sort of positional sound where it matters more. Like, I mean, I could see it in certain things where Pink Floyd it becomes a bit more of an event, right? But it already kind of is. Like, I don't think you really should listen to a lot of Pink Floyd with your eyes open
and sober.
Well, that is up to you, but but like if I don't know, Shine on You, Crazy Diamond comes in, right? Like there's not like no, close your fucking eyes and just sit there. Like even if it's stereo, it doesn't even matter if it's Atmos or not.
Yeah.
BLAB 17's ceiling speakers are fucking amazing. I have 6 of them on the ceiling.
Yeah. He's the wrong guy to have a no for an answer from, my friend.
I mean, you could go 8s. Don't get me wrong. It's just budget, right? Like what works. I mean, I could put 8s. Like I guess these are like pretty high. I very much like my 8s. It's just I can't be arsed to spend the difference, right? Like getting another 2 sets of 8s to hang on the ceiling, like, God, that's what, 24 grand of ceiling speakers at that point, compared to like, I think I paid about 5, maybe 5.25 for all 3 sets of 17s. Like, I also don't think these are closer to 50s than 28s are, but I think 17s are closer to 50s still because they're of the same kind of tuning era.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, like these go bassier way quicker and then sort of fall on their ass over 65.
Smoke some broccoli, bro.
Whereas 17s are less bassy in the beginning and follow that line a lot more with the 50s, right? Like,
yes,
17s fall on their ass at like, I don't know, close to 80 volume. But like we said earlier, that is just hearing damage when 50s are that loud.
Well, but then the bass redirection, like it's a smarter system than what it's a smarter bass management, and altogether the True Image is much smarter than it was in or advanced rather than it was in the Harmony and Avant, or like the predecessors, because Harmony and Avant share the same True Image engine.
Horst says Dolby Atmos music makes me feel like the whole system comes alive. It feels like all the speakers are finally being used. Well, that is true. That is true by the sheer the packaging it's in.
Mm-hmm.
That is for sure true. Like True Image tries to do that. I listen to a lot of stereo music with True Image on, and my rear 50s are definitely doing stuff. I mean, yes, they come alive more with Dolby Atmos, but because there's more data in it, right? It's not upscaling.
I just wish that we could get back into the original Speaker 4 sound.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
like for some reason, the True Image, even if you adjust or set them front, left, and right for the rears, it's not the same experience in dynamics, I think.
You also seem to drop 3 or 4 dB versus just stereo. It's kind of strange. I don't exactly know what's going. Maybe it's because the signal is split or something that it loses like a bit of voltage. Or
I don't think it can be the voltage. I think it's just the way that it's processed on the True Image engine. If you're buying like I would buy the 17s from your dealer. First of all, you support your local guy, and second of all, if the poo hits the fan with the speakers, at least you have a crutch to lean on, and they can help you with it. Depends on how many you're planning to buy. I need to order myself a amplifier chassis for BeoLab 11 before they get completely discontinued, because I have a Lab 11 that is old, never really been used that much. But once that chassis goes, it's a useless subwoofer. Right now, it's not even plugged in. It just looks cool. It fucking looks cool, man. You can't argue that.
I think my average purchase price was like €1,500 or so for a set of 17s. Like one was cheaper because I was lucky at an auction, and one was more expensive because they were like literally mint and came with all the stands, right? Like floor stand, table stand. If you need the table stands, like the regular straight up, I have several of those.
Oh fuck!
God, I have like 3 or 4 sets of the regular up and down, not the sideways table stand. Nobody has those apparently.
Mm.
But the regular, like the plastic, I stand on the plastic foot thing. I have like 4 sets of those, I think.
Oh wow!
So if you need any of those, like let me know. But 1,200 for if they're not all scratched up and whatnot, that's a great price. Go for it.
Yeah,
I would. I have. So
that's it.
And Ed, if you BeoLab 5000s versus 8s, yeah, no question, 8s.
No, that's it.
I mean, I like the Mondrian look. Right? They're very cool speakers, but in terms of output, like it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like not at all. Like they're the 5000s are more sort of art pieces. I would happily own them because they are art pieces, but I mean, they're more sort of in the range of BeoLab 4000s, which are pretty but not great in terms of sound. They're not shit, but
it's the sound of the 90s, man. Mid 90s. That's just where it's at.
I mean, even back in the day when we had some, right? Like we had 8000s up front and 4000s rear. Like the 4000s were like anemic 8000s essentially. Like, yeah, they sound the same, but it's sort of like, come on.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I'm slowly drifting away from the older vintage B&O equipment because I'm just getting poisoned by the servicing of it, and I just don't really care for it anymore. I support people that still keep it alive and they have the know-how or patience to fix and repair it, but I'm just finished with it. Max, I don't know what do you mean. Are they technically usable as desktop speaker or is latency connection issue? Is that pertaining to the Lab 8s or 5000s? Because Lab 8s, if you put them on the power link, or RJ45, or I think if you do them line in and you disable the multi-room, then they shouldn't have any latency issues. 17s, no problem.
Yeah, their latency is like, was it 12 milliseconds or 13 milliseconds? It's
imperceivable.
Yeah. Yeah, you can absolutely use them as computer speakers. You can use 3s as computer speakers. Like of anything that doesn't really, like you can use 18s as computer speakers. I did.
Yeah, it's just the Mozart stuff gets a little more complicated because of the sound correction that happens before it leaves the speaker itself, right? When the sleep and tuning and all that nonsense. But if you disable the BeoLink on the speaker, where that latency, if you're on wireless network, if you have one on the wireless, the latency is 1,000 milliseconds automatically. Wired, you can go down to 250. I've even pushed it lower at some points, but it never goes below 150 that it starts to work well. So the charging would get annoying for sure.
Essentially any of the dumb era speakers, right? They work as PC speakers, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Other than Lab 5s. There's a little bit of an issue with that, but
you go to Steve, get yourself some proper cables and you'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it. Yeah, Ed, just go buy some 8s. I know you want to, otherwise you wouldn't have asked.
That's it, man.
I may even buy those 5000s off you then, because I fucking love them. I mean, they're just art pieces at that point.
They are. You don't even have to plug them in. Just have them hanging.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, but if you did it with the BeoCenter too, then you can actually get metadata showing up on the speakers through the data link, which would be kind of cool.
yeah. I mean, also 5,000s and like 8,000s, right? They're so old, they're repairable. Like there's nothing really special inside. Like there's this weird inverse thing, right? Where like for 17s and 11s and whatever, you need a board. But when you go very old, like 8,000s, you can sort of do
They're
it all.
pre-digital era, basically,
Yeah.
at that point. So it's a little more fixable. But even then, those parts, they're running out, man, because the parts that need those parts are not being made anymore.
No.
So that's it.
Oh, this is last one. When I turn on my theater, all Weiser speakers turn on, even though they're not in the speaker group. This includes a BL2 and a receiver 1. Does this damage the power supply unit over time?
No,
No.
no, but they're always on your worry about a power supply is absolutely irrelevant, because that power supply is well, the transmitter, or the receiver rather, is on continuously, right?
Yes.
If so, that's the difference. If you're looking at the 18s, which they have that built inside, that power supply is on continuously, because it needs to be looking for when the theater pops on and then they turn on, even though you don't have them signed in as a speaker group. The only way you can get around it is to actually power link them directly into the theater, because theater has what the old TVs used to have as an option, eco mode, where in Avant days, if you turned off the eco mode, so all the speakers would turn on and be powered up continuously, even though they are not used in a particular speaker group. Where with the theater, it's fucking annoying, because the 90s, they don't just instantaneously turn on. They go click, clack, click, click. Then the sound comes on, and then they synchronize the theater. Oh, fuck. Okay, we got to synchronize, y'all. Then they do that. They handshake. Everybody's happy. And then you fucking press a my button by accident to a different speaker preset, and they shut right off the standby. So that's the only drawback for the theater, because it does shut the power link off as soon as that speaker is not included in the listening position. So for longevity and reliability's sake, I think that power link will always be more preferable to
The Weiser board gets a bit toasty over time. But
yeah, I've had
that
few
is
that
generally
died,
a long time.
But
also, if it's external, like for a BLab 2, if it's a receiver 1, right, they don't die as quickly as the built-in, because just because it's external, they can get rid of their heat a bit better.
And there's not much that's cooking the receiver once it's playing the music, because it's outside of the chassis of the speaker.
Yeah,
it's not part of the boards where the drivers get warmed up and so on and so forth.
The thing, though, is even if your Weiser board dies, you can just wire them up and they still work fine. Like if your Weiser board dies, just use PowerLink and it's fine, right? Like,
but if it's a DSC engine or DSC board, then you kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's it.
We'll be off again next week because I'll be in the Midwest somewhere doing things.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I can hear the excitement, so that's great. It's great.
Yay.
So
have a good 2 weeks again, everybody. Hopefully B&O will do something. Maybe next time we can go over the numbers and stuff.
Maybe I'll have more stories from somewhere else that I get sent to in those 2 weeks, because you never know.
Yeah. So have a good 2 weeks, everybody. See you next time. Just love you long time. Have fun.
Love you long time. Bye-bye.